Hello and welcome to this first video introducing Google Earth. Let's get started. In order to get to Google Earth, you should open the Chrome browser, click in the address bar, and simply type earth.google.com, and it will take you right to the entry point here. Now notice across the top that it's giving you a couple of options: Earth for Chrome, which is what we're going to do now, but it's also Earth Pro for desktop. So you can download this and install it on your computer. It'll work on a Mac, or PC, or a Linux machine. There's installations for all three. And the difference is that in Earth for Chrome we're going to be able to do certain things, take tours as a user, but in Pro on desktop we would be able to create our own tours, and we'll look at that later. So to get started, just find the Launch Google Earth button. Give it a couple of seconds to load. And just in a second or so, it will be ready to go, and that will be evident. So we're presented with this nice globe. We can manipulate it simply by clicking it and dragging it. So I can spin it this way. Okay. You see there's Australia down at the bottom. I can spin it up and down. So I could bring Australia right into the center, or any other place. So there's the United States here. We can see Florida. Now in order to zoom in, there are several ways to do that. I could double click, and double clicking will bring me in a little bit. We'll reposition there. Double click again, it will bring you in a little further. That's really the slow way. The fast way to come in or out is to use that scroll button on your mouse. So you can see I can very quickly, if I wanted to come into Florida, get that in the center of my screen and just reposition a little bit, and there we are. There's Orlando right there. So by using that mouse wheel and clicking and dragging a little bit, there's Orlando International Airport. So I was able to find that pretty quickly, or to come out quickly. Okay, you also in this lower right hand corner have some tools we'll take a look at now. The plus sign, as you might have guessed, is another way to zoom in, or the minus to zoom out. And I guess you could use this if you wanted to do it in small increments. I really prefer the mouse wheel. That's up to you. Note that if I do click and drag, I can kind of change the direction so we're no longer facing north. And to correct that, if I wanted to get this oriented due north again, I can just use the compass down here. Clicking on it will rotate the map. Okay, so I've got myself here, and clicking on it will just adjust it so that it's due north. Okay, double clicking the compass will exchange it for the globe, and double clicking the globe will exchange it for the compass. Basically, if I'm zooming in, I'm getting in a little closer here, the globe is going to show me my position. It changes, so you can see it's giving me, while I'm a little close here, it might be hard to tell where I am, this is giving me a relative position. So that's a nice feature. Clicking that globe will zoom me back out to an original view. So let's go back in where we have a little something more to look at. There we go. Okay, so I've zoomed in on a section of the west coast of Florida over here. Note this 3D button. This would allow me to take a slightly different perspective. So it gives me that angled perspective, a little different experience. Clicking it again will bring you to that directly overhead view, that very flat view. And that makes a difference, especially as you come in closer. You can see here you have a really different feel for it in 3D view than you do in 2D view. It takes a second or so for all the graphics to build. Okay, if I come back a little bit, when I click the little man, it's going to show me my options for street view. And when I turn that on, you'll see that certain things are outlined in blue. Certain things are not. Now if I click an area that's not blue, street view is not available there. But if I click an area that has Street View enabled, it's going to zoom me all the way in, and give me this view as if I were on the ground. I can click along this road and I can actually drive down along the road. If I grab and click and drag, I'm going to change my orientation. So I can look up at the sky, I can look down pretty far at the ground, I can turn and look at what's on the side of the road. But if I want to actually navigate, I'm going to have to use these tools here, so I can navigate down the road. And this is a fun activity for kids. If they get themselves right in the area of their own homes or their school, they can really get a good view of that. So it's kind of a fun thing to do at times. This last button over here in this set of control is the fly to location. Now if I click this, it's just going to bring me back and orient me to where I'm currently located. To have this feature work, your location services must be turned on, so it's identifying where you are at this moment, and there are some considerations to that, whether you actually want that on or off, and we'll look at where to change that setting a little later on. Okay, notice on the left, this is your main toolbar over here, and we're going to return in our next video and we're going to go through the tools on the left and the options that you have when using them.